Welcome back to Derby Date Night. You are here with Aria, Kidding Me, and Serious Lee for this second game of the Smalltown Smackdown Tournament of Champions. As my co-host for the last couple games, Melody Mayhem, is now on the ref crew, I have found myself another co-host. Kimbo, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, I am Kimbo Slicer, skater for Circle City Roller Derby.
We are so excited to have you here. A bit of a different perspective.
I'm so glad to be here.
Having somebody who's from another team, so hopefully that will be good for our listeners to hear. You are joining us for Louisville Roller Derby versus Cape Girardeau Roller Derby, and we are in the 7th place game. So all of these teams have played 2 games so far this weekend, and we are going into the 3rd game of the weekend for everybody. So we're going to have this game, and then right after this, we will have Cornfed and Circle City, very familiar foes, go up against each other, followed by our championship game with Rock of Central Kentucky versus South Bend. That whistle means we are about to get started in this game. Welcome to all the fans for Louisville, Cape Girardeau, and roller derby in general. Harlot O'Hara getting lead jammer status for Louisville, followed closely behind by Diana Slamma. Both jammers running up to that pack. Harlot O'Hara trying to call off that jam before Diana can score any points. Let's see if she was able to sneak any. Does not look like it, but it does look like Diana Slamma might be headed to the penalty box. So, no, not Diana Slamma. Harlot O'Hara. Somebody. Yep, Diana. So Cape Girardeau will have a jammer in the box to start this next jam, and we will start with a power jam for Louisville. Tina Fatal jamming for Louisville, and Diana Slamma in the box for Cape Girardeau. Tina Fatal finding space on the inside line will grab that lead jammer status. And we'll have just a little bit of time to come around to see if they can score any points before Diana gets out of the box. That is 4 points right there for Louisville Roller Derby. Diana is standing and will be coming out of the box pretty quickly. About a quarter lap behind. And she is through. Louisville getting those 4 points. Diana also, I think, is Diana still on her initial at this point?
Yes, Diana just got through on her initial.
All right, so when Diana hits the pack again, she will be eligible to score points. Let's see if Tina's going to let this jam run or if she's going to call it before Diana can score any points. And she decided to call it, but not before scoring some points with Louisville at a score of 10 and Cape Girardeau with the score of 1. Nope, 3. They were able to, I guess Diana grabbed 2 points at some point there.
Those jammers are sneaky.
Those jammers are sure sneaky. And Kimbo, you've been both a jammer and a blocker, yes?
Yes.
So you can give me some of that jammer perspective, because that's something that I never really liked to do.
I loved jamming. Coming back as a blocker, though, it definitely does give perspective on looking at what those jammers are going to do. So kind of having that insight definitely helps.
Harlot O'Hara getting forced to the outside to recycle, and lead jammer going to Descriptive Vixen from Louisville. That pack is stretching out a little bit. Harlot O'Hara has gotten out of the pack and will be coming around. Descriptive Vixen engaging with the pack, grabs those 4 points. Harlot O'Hara unable to get to the pack in time to score any points of their own. Looks like Smaxolotl is currently in the penalty box, so we will start this next jam with Cape Girardeau down 1 blocker.
I think Corella de Kill is jamming for Cape Girardeau.
Oh, that is a new jammer we haven't seen. Corella de Kill is jamming for Cape Girardeau. Phoenix is going to be jamming for Louisville. Phoenix looking to see some space on the inside. Oh, great offense by her teammate there. Number 13, blue sleigh shoes, really helping Phoenix get through. But Cruella got through first. But that really great offense to help Phoenix forced Cruella to have to call that jam off before any points could be scored by either team. Okay, we have people in the chat who are watching from their bath, from the pool. It's clearly a hot day, and on Father's Day, people are relaxing, and we really appreciate that you're relaxing with us here on Derby Date Night, which we're really calling Derby Getaway Weekend for right now. Harlot O'Hara getting out as lead jammer for Louisville. Shantastic Vixen taking some great defense from KCDC and on Louisville, is able to get out. Shantastic Vixen has come in on a scoring pass and is engaging the pack, trying to get through as Harlot coming around on that scoring pass. And 4 points for Harlot O'Hara there. Shantastic Vixen, seeing some space on the inside, is able to get out and will now be eligible to score points for Cape Girardeau. Harlot O'Hara coming into the pack, finding some help from Dave and Buster, and calls that jam. So I'm learning from the chat that this is Cruella's first year in roller derby for Cape Girardeau, jamming
impressive.
In a tournament. There have been quite a few from Cape Girardeau that are new skaters, very new skaters. I think that this has been just a great opportunity for so many of them to really develop into their own style as a jammer or a blocker, and it's just been great for them.
Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, coming back from COVID, last season per WIFDA was the first time teams could come back, and a lot of them opted not to. So this might be, the first opportunity some of these teams have had to play in a tournament since pre-COVID.
Absolutely true. There's not a lot of tournaments that have come back, and this is the first time we've had Smalltown Smackdown since the COVID shutdown. So glad to see things like this coming back, because this crowd is a pretty big crowd, and it has been this whole tournament. And so it's been just great just seeing people come out, support roller derby, hoping people brought their dad or their dad figure in their life to celebrate Father's Day with their family.
Cruella, but I'm not sure who the other jammer is.
All right, we've got Cruella for Cape Girardeau and Tina Fatal for Louisville Roller Derby. Tina getting out with that lead jammer status. Tina Fatal was doing a lot more pivoting and blocking in the first couple of games, but I've noticed in the last game started to jam a little bit more and is pretty solidly in the jammer rotation so far in this game. Cruella taking a hit on the outside, did not pull her out of bounds though, and so she was able to stay in and is now free to come around and score points if Tina Fatal does not call the jam before she does. But she's going to call that jam and make sure that no points can get scored, bringing Louisville's total to 34, Cape Girardeau to 4. Descriptive Vixen jamming for Louisville Roller Derby and Harlot O'Hara for Cape Girardeau. Ooh, great blocking by Louisville there, but Harlot O'Hara is able to get around and get that lead jammer status for Cape Girardeau. I think a pass. No, Descriptive Vixen did not pass, but was thinking about it. Just took a hit to the outside, is still trying to get through on that initial as Harlot O'Hara comes through on her first scoring pass and grabs those 4 points for Cape Girardeau. A pass did happen. David Buster is now the jammer for Louisville and will be able to score points depending on what Harlot Oscara decides to do here. Harlot scoring those 4 points, but is being sent to the penalty box, it looks like, on a track cut. So this will be a power jam for Louisville, and David Buster will be scoring some points, but also we have a minute left in this jam, and you know what that means when a jammer gets sent to the box. This jam's going the full 2 minutes. That always made me so tired when I would see a jammer who was lead go to the box. I was like, oh no, no one can call it. I'm going to be tired.
Especially when there's a star pass and you know the pivot that took the star is already exhausted, and then the other jammer goes to the box.
Or if you are the pivot who took the pass, which has happened to me so many times, and I'm like, oh no. Dave and Buster working really hard there. This Cape Girardeau blockers are working really well together. It's been really delightful to watch Cape Girardeau really develop their strategy this weekend, and I'm seeing their communication and their walls just tighten up, and this is fun to see. Dave and Buster doing a little bit of a spin there to get through for those 4 points. Harlot Oscara came back in, but then immediately was called on another penalty and will be headed back to the box again, it looks like. So we will be starting this next jam on a power jam for Louisville. I'm just watching to make sure that I'm correct here and that Harlot is going to be in the box. Yep, it does look like it. Oh, that is rough.
And it looks like Dave and Buster was able to get 8 points for Louisville on the board.
Nice. Louisville is also only 4 points away from our first dad joke of this game. Those are always just a little bit of fun. They keep us entertained and make us pay attention to the score when we give a joke every 50 points. Phoenix is out there jamming in this power jam for Louisville, really working to get through, getting some great offense from Sweet Revenge to help her get through. Harlot Oscara is standing, so we'll be coming out of the penalty box shortly. Phoenix is going to try and see if she can score some points before Harlot enters. Harlot will be on her initial, so will not be eligible to score points until she has gotten through that pack one time. Phoenix getting through on a point-scoring trip around the track and entering the pack again. I'm hearing lots of whistles. That penalty box looks real full right now. And we have a Phoenix went to the box this time, and so now this will be a power jam for Harlot Oscara, but I believe Phoenix was lead when she went to the box, so another 2-minute jam.
Yep, Phoenix was called on a back block.
All right, some blockers re-entering the track. Harlot Oscara has been really just taking, just assessing the situation, kind of figuring out what's going on. I just saw looks like a jammer star might be getting passed to a pivot here. The pivot on Cape Girardeau is Sketchy Morels, so I think a pivot pass might have happened. Yep, Sketchy Morels, I can see it in her hand, so she is now the jammer for Cape Girardeau, and Phoenix came out of the box and scored 4 points. I think scored 4 points coming out. Whew. Okay, that jam made me tired. Great derby by both teams there. Go ahead.
You could see the pivot from Cape Girardeau struggling to get that cover on their helmet, and it's so hard as a pivot to get that star over another helmet cover.
Yep.
But they knew they were trying to get those points, so they got to get that cover on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got a couple dad jokes for you since Louisville's gotten to 50 points, which means we've earned a couple dad jokes. Have you heard about the chocolate record player? It sounds pretty sweet. I think we might have done this one yesterday, but this is the classic dad joke. What did the ocean say to the beach? Nothing. It just waved. And with that, we are back to the action with Diana Slamma as lead jammer for Cape Girardeau. Harlot O'Hara right behind. Harlot O'Hara right behind for Louisville Roller Derby. Diana calling the jam, hoping that she was able to keep Harlot from getting any. Did either jammer get any points on that one, or was that a 0-0? I think that was a 0-0. We have 17 minutes left in this half. Again, this is the 7th place game for this tournament. Following this, we will have Cornfed versus Circle City in the 5th place game, followed by the championship game. Ellie Slay jamming for Louisville Roller Derby and Cruella DeKill for Cape Girardeau. Ellie getting that lead jammer status. I haven't seen Ellie jam too much this tournament. They are approaching the pack and on their first scoring pass, finding some space to be able to tiptoe up that inside line and grab those 4 points. Cruella approaching the pack on their scoring pass. Were they able to snag any points? They did. I think all 4 points. Nope, 3. Cape Girardeau was able to grab 3 points in that last jam. Tina Fatal jamming for Louisville and Diana Slamma for Cape Girardeau. Oh, that was beautiful. I thought Tina Fatal was going to come out with that one, and Diana came out of nowhere and grabbed that lead jammer status, but called it pretty quickly because it was pretty much dead even. Is that something you would do as a jammer in that situation?
I think to protect points, it's better to just go 0-0 than risk them sneaking some extra points. So definitely strategy-wise, calling that was a good call for Louisville.
It's hard when you earn that jammer status and you're like, oh, dang it, there they are. They're right there. I guess I'll call it.
Or you think you're so close to getting lead and then they blow by you. You're like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
Soul crushing as a jammer.
Yes, that is very true. Descriptive Vixen lining up for Louisville and Cruella DeKill for Cape Girardeau. It is taking a little while here. We're at turn 2. Descriptive Vixen has pulled that pack out all the way to turn 2, but then became your lead jammer. Cruella DeKill out about half a track behind. Hannah, I was wondering that as well. I did notice that Louisville did have someone in the box, but I try to give the refs the benefit of the doubt, and I know that I'm just armchair quarterbacking over here. I don't know what armchair quarterbacking would be in Derby, because
would that be like a side seat driver when you're driving with someone?
But what would we call it in Derby? So like if it's an armchair quarterback, because if you're watching football, you're armchair quarterbacking. So would we be like side seat jamming?
Lawn chair jammer,
Lawn
maybe?
chair.
I don't know.
Lawn chair jamming.
We need to come up with a term for that.
I like lawn chair jamming. I think that's great. Just imagining, I know, I'm a lawn chair jammer here. I'll tell you what we should do. Woo, very pretty spins by Diana Slamma, trying to earn that lead jammer status. Phoenix in the back also pushing as hard as they can. Diana, that was beautiful work by Diana to earn that lead jammer status there. Phoenix is out about a quarter track behind.
KCDC for Louisville was doing some amazing defense right there.
Woo. That was a pretty jam. Phoenix looking at her ref, hoping that she was able to snag a point there. Looks like the refs are discussing. Sometimes when they're not sure how many points, they like to double check in with a couple other refs before they decide how many points, if any, a jammer got. Okay, so out of 5 refs, how many points do you think we're going to come out with?
I feel like that's a bad knock-knock joke.
It is. It really is. That's going to be an official timeout because they were still talking. Oh, how many points did we get from 5 refs? I think it was 4 points. No, 3?
I think it was 3 points.
3. How many refs does it take to screw in a light bulb? Ooh, we'll come up with something. Harlot O'Hara jamming for Louisville Roller Derby and Sketchy Morels. Still love that derby name for Cape Girardeau. Harlot O'Hara coming out with lead jammer status pretty quickly there. Sketchy trying to find some space, taking a big push to the outside line, being forced to recycle as Harlot comes into the pack. Harlot makes it through for 4 points as Cape Girardeau turns back to see how they can help Sketchy Morels. In a moment of confusion, Sketchy Morels notices there's no one in front of her and just decides to get out of that pack.
And we have 2 Louisville blockers headed to the box for destruction of pack and failure to reform.
Harlot O'Hara grabbing some points before calling the jam. Great awareness there by Harlot O'Hara. She was definitely working on making sure those hips got in front, and she grabbed those points before calling that jam.
Jammers from both teams are doing amazing with communication, looking to the bench, which is key, knowing when to call it off, when to run it, get points, hit it and quit it.
Absolutely.
Both jammers from both teams are doing great jobs with that. I know all the hand signals too well.
Tina Fatal jamming for Louisville Roller Derby, and Cruella DeKill jamming for Cape Girardeau. Woo, woo, woo. Little bit of looks like Cruella is going to be headed to the box. I know this one for a back block. Am I right?
Back block. Yep, 2 hands pushing forward is the ref signal for a back block.
But it looks like that was maybe overturned. She's back on the track, so not going to be a power jam here for Tina Fatal and Louisville, who have lead jammer status right now.
I do know with the new ruling, back block, there has to be some sort of impact, if I'm correct, and I'm not sure if Cruella DeKill had any impact because the other jammer was already in the process of falling, so that might be why it was overturned. But it does look like Cruella DeKill is now sitting down in the penalty box. I'm not sure what she was called on for this time.
The fun thing about being on the live stream is sometimes we find out and sometimes we don't. So when we find out, it's lovely, and we're always like, ooh, were we right? Maybe, maybe not. But when we don't find out, I just go with the assumption that I was right, you know.
Educated guesses are great.
And the chat sometimes helps us out too.
Yes.
Descriptive Vixen establishing lead jammer status for Louisville. Cruella DeKill, as you stated, is in the box for Cape Girardeau. So this is a power jam for Louisville Roller Derby. Descriptive Vixen is through and with scoring 4 points as Cruella DeKill comes out of the penalty box.
Big hit by Girardeau to kill on that Louisville wall.
Great job getting through. So that was Corella's initial, and Corella's not going to have the opportunity to score any points there. Hannah, that is a great fact. Cape is currently being coached by Chops and Schlitt Throat. Schlitt used to skate for Cape, but now skates for Demolition City Roller Derby. I had a great conversation with Schlitt this morning, which left me with all the confidence, and I now feel like Schlitt and I have bonded because I now am confident in how I say Cape Girardeau. Lovely human being. Harlot O'Hara jamming for Louisville Roller Derby, and Diana Slamma for Cape Girardeau. Diana Slamma finding that space on the inside line there to get through. And will be your lead jammer. Harlot O'Hara finding similar space and will be coming out about 3/4 of a lap behind. Diana taking a swing. I saw that one. Taking a swing to the outside, just touched her skate outside of the line and was called on a track cut. So this will be a power jam for Louisville and Harlot O'Hara.
Nice footwork as they get through the pack for 4 more points. Looking to take advantage of that power jam, and easily with the offense goes on the outside for 4 more.
All right, Diana Slamma being released from the box after Harlot gets through on another scoring pass.
Louisville doing an amazing job using that bait and sweep technique for that offense for their jammer.
Yeah, I love that. It's really hard to fight against physics. I never realized how much physics was used in roller derby.
And going around the apex, I see so many jammers that take the outside. And as being a former jammer, the apex is your friend. You want to stay to the inside. And I see so many of them catching their wheels and just using their laterals and going on the outside. So it takes tremendous skill to be able to hold on to that when you're on the outside on that turn.
Oh, yeah, because you've got so much more momentum, and it's hard to change that momentum if you're already headed in one direction and you're on a bigger sweep there. Harlot O'Hara, after scoring 4 more points, is back engaged in the pack and having a hard time, not sailing through as much as they were, but is able to get out as Cape Girardeau is headed back to help Diana. That jam will come to an end. Very hard earned by everyone. We have got kids who are watching from home who are yelling, "Go Louisville." We are so excited that we've got some younger kids cheering on their favorite skaters. We love to hear it. I'm realizing as I've sat here this weekend with you and with Melody, both of you having been jammers, I'm realizing you know those hand signals a lot better than I do, because as a blocker and pivot, I knew multiplayer. That's the one that I always knew, which I think is a new signal now.
Multiplayer is usually just the 2 hands clasped together, and that just shows, you didn't drop your hands. But we've got directional, we've got failure to reform, we've got out of play.
Yes.
There's so many different penalties that are typically more given to blockers than so much jammers, but they can be given to anyone.
Absolutely. Great job by Fox Sake getting lead jammer status in that one. Sketchy Morels, who's jamming for Cape Girardeau, is headed to the penalty box, so this will be a power jam for Louisville. I'm also remembering that my other favorite signal that I knew very well was forearm.
Yes. Unfortunately for jammers, track cuts and forearms tend to be the big, also back blocks tend to be the most earned penalties, I would say, for jammers.
I feel like I see more back blocks now than I did a few years ago.
They've really cracked down on making the sport more safe, and our refs and those head people of WIFTA really want to make sure that their skaters are skating safely and that everyone can have a good time and really avoid those injuries. So I think a lot of that comes down to thinking about the safety of the skater. So when we think of back blocks, our backs and our necks and our heads are all, very important to our safety. So they want to do as much as they can to protect those.
Super important. Just great job by Fox Sake there, getting 12 points for Louisville Roller Derby. We have got 5 minutes left in this first half, and then we'll be back for the second half because we are just enjoying playing some roller derby today. But as I'm noticing, Louisville has gotten us over that 100 mark, which means it is time for another dad joke. Why do seagulls fly over the ocean? Because if they flew over the bay, we'd call them bagels.
I love bagels.
Cruella DeKill will be the lead jammer for Cape Girardeau. We've got Lacey. I don't think I've seen Lacey line up on the jam line yet for Louisville. Lacey getting out of that pack and coming in behind Cruella DeKill, who is working really hard against a super strong tripod from Louisville, listening to the bench who shouted, "Call it." So before Louisville could score any points there. Was Cape Girardeau? Yep, Cape Girardeau was able to grab 2 points there, bringing their total to 27. Maybe we should call them seagulls when they're in the sea and bagels when they're in the bay. Although I always get confused what is defined as a bay versus like a different type of body of water.
Versus maybe a harbor,
right.
Or...
What makes it a...
We need a scientist.
Or what is a oceanographer?
Oceanographer, yeah.
Maybe there's one in the chat. You never know.
Yeah. And when they land, are they lagels or landals?
I love that. Wheel and Banshee is going to be your lead jammer for Louisville. Diana Slamma jamming for Cape Girardeau. A little bit of falling there and people spending a little bit of time on the ground, but I don't see anybody going to the penalty box, so no harm, no foul on that.
We do have one blocker from Cape Girardeau, though, going to the penalty box for a low block. All
right. Well, and that happens sometimes. When you see a lot of falling, sometimes afterwards you see somebody headed to the penalty box because if you trip over somebody who's on the ground, then that person who is on the ground will often get a low block. Wheel and Banshee got through for 4 points. Diana is still pushing and trying to get through. We have 3 minutes left in this first half. Back block called on Wheel and Banshee, who will be headed to the penalty box. So this will be a power jam for Diana Slamma, and this jam will go the full 2 minutes. Diana is now out of the pack and putting that jammer star back on so that she can score points when she comes back in. Let's see if she can take advantage of this power jam.
KCDC is also taking a 30-second break in the penalty box for Louisville.
Diana making good work of that with some help from her offense there. I think, was that Sketchy Morels?
Smackdown, I think, isn't it?
How have I not said Corn Dog's name at all in this? Corn Dog. Like, this is the Smalltown Smackdown Tournament of Champions. We should be celebrating that Cape Girardeau has a skater named Corn Dog.
I've announced 3 games, and I have not seen that name either.
Well, Corn Dog just did some great offense there, so good job. All right, Wheel and Banshee back in the pack, as is Diana Slamma after getting 8 points for Cape Girardeau to 6 points for Louisville. And we have 1 minute 56 seconds left in the first half, so I think we're going to get at least one more jam out of this. Rita and Weep getting lead jammer status for Louisville Roller Derby. Cruella DeKill on the line again for Cape Girardeau, finding herself in a what we've been calling these tripods is the Bermuda Triangle of blockers. So really working to try and pull that triangle apart. As that's happening, Rita and Weep finds a hole on the outside and is able to sweep through for 4 points.
And we have a forearm called on Ellie Slay, blocker for Louisville, headed to the box.
Rita and Weep looking for a little bit of truck and trailer assistance from her blocker, who I'm not sure if she was able to get that, so is taking a little bit of a reassessment. A star pass has happened on Cape Girardeau. Shantastic Vixen is now the jammer for Cape Girardeau as the jam is called. And we have 33 seconds left in this half. I think that's enough time for one more jam to start.
I think we will see one more jam. The official clock will expire, but it looks like based off the timing, we're going to have one more jam. Cape Girardeau with 2 blockers in the box. I know one was called on a directional. I am not sure about the second.
It looks like Sketchy Morels is lining up for Cape Girardeau. Tina Fatal for Louisville Roller Derby. This will be the last jam of the half. Tina Fatal is your lead jammer for Louisville. Sketchy Morels really working to get past a nice blocking duo, which has now become a trio of Louisville blockers as Tina comes around. Getting pushed to the inside. 82 from Girardeau doing some great blocking there. Fakin' bacon. And with 4 more points scored for Louisville Roller Derby, that will be the end of the half. We will be back in just a few minutes with the second half of this 7th place game. Thanks for joining us, and we will be back shortly. Welcome back to Derby Date Night. You are here with Aria Kidding Me and Seriously. We are bringing you some great action from Smalltown Smackdown, Tournament of Champions here in Muncie, Indiana. You are currently joining us for the 7th place game between Louisville Roller Derby and Cape Girardeau Roller Derby. I've also got Kimbo Slicer here from Circle City to provide some color commentary and help me out so that I don't lose my voice before this championship game later tonight. Coming into the second half, Louisville has pretty much been controlling this game so far, but Cape Girardeau has been just chipping away, earning points where they can, and they've had a few lead jammers as well that they've gotten. So you never know. Teams can come out of the half as a completely different team. So excited to see what is going to happen in this second half. Phoenix is jamming for Louisville Roller Derby, and Diana Slamma is jamming for Cape Girardeau. If I was Diana, I would be tired. So much jamming from both of these jammers. Phoenix getting lead jammer status, Diana following closely behind.
We've got a Louisville blocker going to the box for a multiplayer. There are 2 of them now in the box from Louisville.
Diana sailing through. Phoenix still lead jammer, but Diana is the one who is scoring the points so far in this jam. Diana finding that space to score another 4 points, bringing her total to 8. Phoenix still attempting to get through on that first scoring pass. Was able to, I think, get, it looks like 3 points. Descriptive Vixen jamming for Louisville Roller Derby and Cruella de Kill for Cape Girardeau. Descriptive Vixen getting that lead jammer status, but having a little bit of a tumble, managing to keep with it. Oh, love to see that. Cruella de Kill coming out right about the same time and deciding to try and slow down Descriptive Vixen a little bit, and is up in front of Descriptive Vixen at this point, forcing Descriptive Vixen to call the jam so Cruella can't score any points. I love seeing that kind of a thing happen. You know, it's like, oh.
The crowd always goes crazy when we have, jammers that block each other because you don't see it very often. So it is exciting and fun to see that.
It really is.
Especially when they're both smiling.
Yes, especially when they're laughing. And I love it when somebody kind of just gets somebody else and they're like, and then the person who got is just like, yep, you got me this time. And you can tell no hard feelings, and it's just like, good job. That was great.
There's no better compliment than when you go to play offense for your jammer and the person you play offense on tells you nice hit.
I love that.
I love it.
Yes. Harlot O'Hara coming out, getting that lead jammer status, and is now on their scoring pass. We've got Sketchy Morels jamming for Cape Girardeau. Oh, I've been saying it perfectly. Girardeau. What happened there? There's some confusion. Descriptive Vixen is... Whoa. I have no idea what's going on. Everyone looks confused. Usually what that means is it's going to be some sort of an official timeout, official review, or everybody's just going to say, yeah, that jam was called and we're moving on to the next jam.
I think it might be an injury.
Just taking a second to assess a skater, make sure things are good. She is all right and headed back to the bench. We'll be resuming shortly. For those of you who are listening in the building, we do have some hot dogs that have shown up. I think there's a hot dog truck out there, and I've seen a couple of them, and they look pretty good. Seriously is wondering if anybody feels like bringing him a hot dog. He is looking a little hungry, but if not, you all should enjoy them and make sure to at least save us a couple because we're going to go try to get some after this game. Were you able to enjoy any of those tacos from the taco truck yesterday?
I did not. I missed out on those, unfortunately.
I missed out, too. I was bummed.
They did smell good, though.
They smelled delicious, although I heard the red sauce was super spicy, and some someone was like, oh, you should try that because they thought that it would be funny. But I don't know. I would like to just go with more of a general taco would be fine with me.
When in doubt, taco places, you want the salsa verde, which is the green. That's a little
true.
more mild.
Tina Fatal, I thought got lead jammer status. There's some confusion. Tina Fatal is getting a penalty now. I think on a track. Did I see track cut? Signal. So Diana Slamma is in that pack. She's got the star off. I don't know if does she have a pivot to pass it to right now? I don't think she does. The pivot's in the box. So Diana's just taking a second to reset. Sometimes jammers take off that hat anyway, regardless if there's a pivot to pass it to or not, just to add to the confusion so they can maybe get through. You could probably talk about that a little bit.
It forces the opposing wall to kind of divide and conquer because what they don't want is a successful star pass where then the pivot can take off, but they also have to maintain that contact on the jammer because the jammer is still able to get out.
Right.
They're just not scoring
but
points
now they're
without
also
the cover
looking for
on.
the pivot once that hat comes off. Yep. Tina Fatal getting out. Diana Slamma shortly behind is going to need to put that jammer star on the helmet before being able to score any points. This jam is going to go that full 2 minutes. Tina Fatal getting through.
I think we've got a high block called on Cape Girardeau's blocker coming in, possibly.
Now, you don't want to jinx it. I don't think has either jammer gone to the penalty box? Like, this is literally, they're both going to jam for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think either one been to the penalty box yet.
No, I don't think so either. I don't know why Tina Fatal was not lead jammer. Something happened when Tina got out that made her not be lead jammer. Whew, good job for everybody. That was 12 points for Louisville in that jam and 3 points for Cape Girardeau.
It could have possibly been a no pass, no penalty situation for Tina Fatal where she got out but didn't necessarily get around someone. So maybe a down skater, she got up and just kept going instead of coming back in behind to make sure they got those points to be able to be declared lead jammer.
And when that happens, they can either come back in to make sure they get that last jammer, or they can go all the way around, right? But then they will not get, but they never got lead jammer. I wonder.
I'm not sure.
Would they have gotten it if once they came around?
No, because it has to be on your initial pass.
Oh, okay, that would make sense. So if you keep going, you don't get it anymore.
Yeah.
Phoenix jamming for Louisville Roller Derby and Cruella DeKill from Cape Girardeau. We have one Louisville blocker and two Cape Girardeau blockers on the track. This is a very empty track as Phoenix is coming in. Those two Cape Girardeau blockers getting ready. Definitely slowing Phoenix down. Phoenix looking for some help from the one lone blocker out there from Louisville. Is able to get it and coming through to score, I think to score 4 points. No, that was an initial. No, 4 points. There it is.
A little confusion in the penalty box for Louisville. They had three blockers coming in all at once. When that happens, only two blockers can sit. So unless one of those blockers was standing, all three cannot report at the same time.
And now the one who has a penalty, I think there is one who still needs to report, will be asked to report once that box is empty.
Exactly, yes.
That was a bit of a confusing jam there, but we also had both teams get another 50 points. I'm seeing a timeout being called by Louisville. So we will get some dad jokes going since we've earned a few more here.
Would you like to hear my dad joke?
Absolutely.
So, do you like soy milk?
Sure.
So what if soy milk is really just introducing itself in Spanish? Hola, soy milk.
That's a good one.
I stole that from TikTok.
So I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. Get it? The letter Y.
I don't know why.
That would make it. Uh-huh.
I'm a math teacher.
Oh, love it. Love it. How does the moon cut his hair? Eclipse it.
I knew it had something to do with shears.
I guess it would be eclipse it. Eclipse it. What did one wall say to the other? I'll meet you at the corner. And our final joke for this timeout. For our math teacher, what did the 0 say to the 8? That belt looks good on you. Wait, I don't get it.
Waist training, it cinches it in.
Of course it.
I love it.
Good job, Rogue.
Drive by Rogue Skater.
In her corn costume.
As a corn cob.
And now we've got another timeout. Is it? Okay, wait, I learned this earlier. Looking at the signal that the jam timer is giving, it is an official timeout.
Yes.
Because if it was a timeout, they would be making a T, right?
They would be making the timeout and then pointing to the bench that had requested or taken the timeout. Yes.
Love it. Melody's been working with me to teach me all of this so that I know. It's really nice having a ref to announce with you, and then having you as a jammer. It really gives a different perspective. Having different people who have done different positions and different things in Derby. We appreciate you joining.
I think any skater should at least take the opportunity to try an NSO or even learn a little bit about reffing, because it just makes your knowledge of the game just so much more, and
absolutely,
it's great. And that way, when you get a penalty, you're not like, why did I get that? I didn't do anything wrong.
And I would like to take a minute during this to recognize some of our officials. We recognized the other crew earlier today, but I would like to recognize this specific crew. We've got our tournament head ref, Shotgun Mike, who's really keeping everything running smoothly behind the scenes and doing an amazing job. We have our head ref for this game, Phil Doe, supported by A. Grew, You Know, I Know, You Know, Melody Mayhem, Where's Waco, Croc, Shenanigans, and Malsdahl, who I believe Malsdahl is also a skater, correct? So
Malsdahl is a skater formerly for Bloomington, but now for Circle City. And the back of her ref jersey actually says Invader Jim's wife's wife as her ref name.
That's amazing. And that would be, so in Derby, some of us have Derby wives, and so I'm guessing that has something to do with that.
Yes, her Derby wife would be the actual wife of whoever Invader Jim is.
Who is, I believe, a ref on one of these crews. Lacey jamming for Louisville Roller Derby, getting that lead jammer status, I believe, for the first time in this tournament. Harlot Oscara jamming for Cape Girardeau is passing Lacey right now. Lacey being forced to call that jam.
And now we have a reverse situation with Cape Girardeau. Now they have 3 blockers in the box, 1 standing, so 2 can now actually sit, and 1 blocker from Louisville sitting.
I've had this happen to me a few times, being the lone only blocker out on the track as the jam starts.
No pressure.
No pressure. You're just there by yourself, and they're currently leaving and putting another pivot out. Hopefully they can do it before the whistle gets blown. Woo! Okay, Mr. Ironham, after an unsuccessful harvest, why did the farmer decide to try a career in music? Because he had some sick beats.
I feel like that's a joke that would be appropriate for Dwight from The Office.
Yes. Harlot O'Hara getting around that lonesome blocker, great job to get lead jammer. Followed closely by Shantastic Vixen from Cape Girardeau. A jam is called. We've got about 21 minutes left in this game. I did not get a chance to say anything about our NSOs, so our head NSO of this game, Mortricia, supported by Mary Choppins, Silken Tofu, who we celebrated earlier for 1,000 games, I believe.
Wow.
Right? Amazing. Mac and Cheeks, Wishbone Breaker, Geo Knitter, Scotchy Scotch Scott, Mimi First, Kill C Grammar, Stabby McNeedles, Galvatron, and Bird. Smackdown jamming for Cape Girardeau, and Fox Sake for Louisville Roller Derby. Fox coming out with that lead jammer status. As Smackdown has got 3 Louisville blockers to get around. I'm seeing, again, only 1 blocker out there for Cape Girardeau as Fox Sake's coming around. is able to get through, but then another Cape Girardeau blocker coming out of the box decides to try and slow things down a little bit. Great awareness there. Smackdown headed to the penalty box, so this will become a power jam for Fox Sake, who's coming around on a scoring pass here. Ellie Slay playing a little bit of offense.
Smackdown penalty was a track cut.
And Smackdown's time starts now, as your 30 seconds does not start until you sit in that penalty box. So that's why sometimes you'll notice jammers going as fast as they can to get to the penalty box. But the other important thing, too, is you can't crash into the penalty box or you will get more penalties. So it's also important that you enter the penalty box safely, but quickly.
Potentially being kicked from the game, ejected from the game if you come sliding in, because they are very serious about officials also being safe,
Absolutely.
whether they are on skates or off. So crashing in or when you take off knocking over a chair can earn you a penalty or possible ejection from the game.
Absolutely. And the Raging Jim is completely reading my mind, because I was just about to say this. I really think and somehow the coaches need to coordinate this. I need a Harlot versus...
Harlot.
Is it Harlot and Harlot? Because one is Harlot O'Hara and one is Harlot Oscara. So yes, when are we getting a Harlot versus Harlot? They both are jamming. They both have been jamming. So somebody needs to make this happen, that we can get a Harlot versus Harlot. Tina Fatal is coming out as the lead jammer for Louisville. Smackdown is out of the penalty box and will be coming in on their initial here. Tina Fatal doing a little shimmy shake, trying to find some space on the inside. Diana Slamma.
We've got a back block on Tina Fatal headed to the box.
Smackdown now has a power jam here. So Smackdown will be coming around and eligible to score points.
But this will be a full 2-minute jam.
Lots of shouting. That's all I'm hearing right now. It's lots of shouting. Okay, Tina Fatal's coming out of the penalty box. Smackdown coming around on a scoring pass. Is Tina Fatal, did they already make their initial?
Yes, Tina Fatal was lead.
Okay.
And then got the penalty, so then forfeit lead. So that's why we're running the full 2 minutes.
And so she is able to score points there and grabbed 4 points coming out of that penalty box. Smackdown being recycled right now.
And I am not sure if Smackdown has made their initial pass yet. I don't believe so.
Derek, I wish the mispronouncing was because it's spelled wrong on the scoreboard, but the scoreboard has nothing to do with us. The mispronouncing is just because I am learning how to say Girardeau and am hit and miss. Doing my best, but it's going to be a little hit and miss. Hopefully more hit than miss, as I've been working on it. Smackdown getting a track cut there and will be headed back to the penalty box.
Speaking of hit or miss, when my daughter played for the Indianapolis Junior Roller Derby, her derby name was Hit or Miss.
Oh, that is lovely. How long did they play derby for?
Ooh, I have to think back. You're making me think. I coached for the juniors for about 2 seasons, so she played as long as I coached. So unfortunately, COVID shut everything down, and she ended up, becoming a teenager, getting a job, working, other priorities. So she has shown some interest in coming back, though. Oh. So we'll see. She's 16.
And you're still playing right now,
yep.
right? So there's a chance that you could both play together.
There is a chance. I would love to see it. I know Hit Her Up Style and Tiny and Mighty, I believe, are the only skaters in history to be a mom and daughter that have played together. I'm probably wrong. I know someone's probably going to correct me on the chat.
Corn-Fed, Soul Seeker, and Ragin' Raven.
That's right. I would love for my daughter to play on CCRD, even if it's just one game, so I can say we played together. But
and I know that when we went down to B Cup one year, I know there was at least one other mother-daughter duo. I don't remember what team that was.
Derby's a family affair.
Yep. Love it when you see it. Do any of you know any mother-daughter or parent-child pairings that skate together or have skated together? All right, Tina Fatal and Smackdown coming out of the penalty box together, I think. Nobody is Oh, that wasn't out of the penalty box. That was literally the beginning of a jam. I am so tired. So Dina Vadel will be lead jammer for Louisville. Getting through on that first score and pass to grab 4. Wait. I think to grab 4 points. Yeah, to grab 4 points. Smackdown finding some space and a hole on the outside to get through for 4 points of their own. I've got a question in the chat here from Lucid Dreamer asking, is that Kimbo?
Yes, it's me.
And she's doing a fantastic job. Love having her on the mic here. We are 3 points away from another dad joke, I'm guessing, after the next jam.
I don't think I can top my soy milk joke,
That one was
so I'm going to
pretty
leave
good.
that to you. If we're here at 6:30, I will, though, have another dad joke that is appropriate.
Oh, you have a specific time.
I have a specific joke that pertains only to 6:30. Anyone in the chat, if you can guess.
This is such a slow burn. I love it. You're setting a joke up
suspense.
4 hours early. All right, Phoenix jamming for Louisville Roller Derby, and Shantastic Vixen jamming for Cape Girardeau.
That was almost a little Southern. Girardeau.
That's what they told me to do. They
That
said
it's
that it
supposed to
will
be a
sound
little
more
Southern?
authentic if
Oh.
I can Southern it up a little bit.
Okay. See, I thought it was French, so I was like, Girardeau?
Originally, I was wondering if they were Canadian, and then they were like, no, we're Missouri. There was a pivot pass that happened on Cape Girardeau and so Shantastic Vixen will be jam and is having a laugh with her jam ref. So
I love
not sure
it.
what happened there, but they both thought it was amusing.
I love it when the teams are having fun.
Yes.
This might be a cornament, but Derby's supposed to be fun, so it's good to see smiles on the skaters' faces.
Oh, it's Scott. Kimbo, you and I announced yesterday. It's Scott.
Hi, Scott. Actually, Scott is Writer's Block. That is his announcer name. Writer's Block is what he came up with. So
Love it. That's great. Have fan favorites been announced? I believe so. I would check Cornfed's social media channels because I think fan favorites are being announced at the end of each of these placement games. So there should be fan favorites that were announced at the end of the third place game between Chicago and Lansing. And there will be fan favorites announced for Louisville and Cape after this game.
we will keep you posted.
Descriptive Vixen is lead jammer for Louisville, and Harlot O'Scara for Cape Girardeau. Harlot able to get out, and so Descriptive Vixen's going to have a choice here. Thinking about calling it. Good awareness, making sure, realizing, oh wait, I got to get this last point, then I'll call it. And we are at 2:01, which means, you know what?
Dad joke.
A skeleton walks into, okay, I don't understand this one either. A skeleton walks into a bar and says, hey, bartender, I'll have one beer and a mop. Oh, because it's a skeleton. So literally they're just pouring a beer on the ground. I don't know if that's a joke as much as just, yeah.
Sad that they're going to buy a beer and not even be able to enjoy it.
Right?
No taste buds, no tongue, so
They're just going to enjoy the smell.
they don't have a nose.
Oh, no!
Oh, nose!
Oh, no! Harlot O'Hara for Louisville. And Shantastic Vixen for Cape Girardeau. Harlot O'Hara was lead, but was getting recycled, and Harlot O'Hara was about to come around on a scoring pass, so that's why that jam was called so quickly.
I was thinking about an announcer name or maybe a referee name that I could have so that I can, differentiate skating from reffing. And I think if I were to ref or announce, my derby name would be All the Cake.
All the cake.
All the Cake. There have been some...
And ate it too?
No, trying not to eat all the cake, but it's kind of an inside joke. Maybe a little inappropriate, but all the cake.
So when I kept my derby name from when I skated because Aria is just who I've become with Aria Kidding Me, and our whole family, we're all a bunch of puns. My husband, seriously, and our kids, LOL and OMG. Best wishes to OMG, who was on cameras yesterday for over 14 hours and is now home. He's a little dehydrated and not feeling well at all. So best wishes to him. He worked his little heart out yesterday for Derby Date Night, and hoping he starts feeling better soon. With that being said, my derby name is Aria Kidding Me, but even though I never have really become a ref, if I ever do in the future, I will be adding an R. So Aria R Kidding Me, Aria Reffin Kidding Me.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was suggested by one of our coaches, JJ. I don't know if she's still JJ Babrams, but that's what she was for a while. But she's coaching today. She'll be coaching in this next game with Circle City versus Cornfed.
Well, I went to IHOP during the second game to get some sustenance, and I was looking through the menu, and I couldn't help but notice how many of the meals at IHOP could be skater names or ref
100%.
names. 100%. For a ref name, there was a IHOP meal called Split Decision, and I was like, that would be a great ref name.
That would be a great ref name. Chantastic Vixen coming out to grab lead jammer for Cape Girardeau. Oh, I saw her looking at that apex.
She was
thinking about it.
Definitely thinking about it. I got a little excited for a second. I was like, are they going to do it? Ooh. As a jammer, that was one of the scariest things, was going in, trying to make that split decision. Mm-hmm. Are you going to jump or are you not?
See, Split Decision.
Split Decision.
It's a great name. I'm trying to remember who it is and on which team. There is somebody who just loves the apex jump that's here.
That is Candace Mansfield from South
Candace
Bend.
Mansfield. She is the queen of the apex jump. I think if that could be an award that we give for a tournament, Candace Mansfield would be the one.
And I was noticing the way she takes off is almost, I mean, I know all jammers have their own different strategies, but the way she takes off is the opposite of what you would think. And she lands not on her leading foot, but on her back foot, which is very impressive that she can still get the air that she does.
Yep, absolutely. And you'll be able to see her in the championship game at 5 o'clock if you want to see what those apex jumps look like. Look out for her in that game.
Oh, I can guarantee you she'll have at least one minimum.
So there was a little bit of confusion there. Tina Fatal and Corella de Kill are out there jamming, and they're both smiling. So whatever the confusion was, they're finding it amusing. I believe Tina Fatal was lead jammer, and it is no longer. So we're going to have a full 2-minute jam here for both of these jammers to try and get as many points as they can.
The nice thing about the full 2-minute jam is there's no pressure to call really or anything like that. So at this point, jammers are strictly just using those skills to get as many points as they can.
So it's like, forget awareness. All I'm doing is trying to score points.
Yep.
Blockers, we still have to have some of that awareness just a little bit in terms of positioning. Like, do we want to be in the back? Do we want to be in the front? How much time is left on the clock? But sometimes it is just block, 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 and the jammers can just jam, jam, jam.
Yeah, it's definitely a different mindset as a blocker as opposed to a jammer, because you've got to bridge, you got to make sure that you are keeping the pack, not destroying the pack, different things like that, that when starting out as a jammer, I didn't really know that those things existed until I started blocking. So that was a whole nother learning curve going from jamming to blocking.
Great work happening by both teams here as these jammers are really working hard to get through. Both jammers scoring a lot of points. I also just decided that if we can find another parent-child duo, I think one of them should be called Jam, 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 and one of them should be called Block, 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 and they should be on the same team. Wouldn't that be great?
I could see it.
Those are good skater names, right?
There was a Jam Beasley.
Yes.
I saw. Mm-hmm. I loved that.
Jam Beasley, I think, is going to be skating later today.
Rock, I believe.
Yep. So we'll get to see them also in the championship game. Oh, I also want to mention again, with seeding, our seeding is random. So when we started yesterday, we really had no idea whose games these were going to be, and we've really started learning a little bit more about these teams. And I really think this championship game between Rock and South Bend, they both have looked just fabulous. And I really have no idea which way it's going to go later today. We did hit over 200, so after this jam, it's going to be time for more dad jokes.
But not the 631 yet.
Not the 631 yet. That one's the slow burn. Shantastic Vixen coming out. Okay, we only have 7 minutes left to get a Scarlet versus Scarlet jam. I don't know who I need to talk to, but they've got to make this happen. We've only got 7 minutes left, but Shantastic Vixen is going to be your lead jammer for Cape.
I wonder if we can maybe get like a crowd chant going. Scarlet versus Scarlet, or Harlot versus Harlot, right?
Yeah.
Because it's Harlot O'Scara and Harlot O'Hara.
Yes, yes.
H&H.
There was a star pass that happened to Dave and Buster. Shantastic Vixen still lead here. And let's get some of those dad jokes going while you all can just think good thoughts about Harlot versus Harlot. Sometimes I make things happen by just talking about them, and sometimes
Think
they
hard
just fall
enough
flat.
and it will happen.
Where do fruits go on a vacation? Paris.
I do like pears.
Okay, for a math teacher, I asked my dog, what's 2 minus 2? He said nothing.
Dogs can't talk.
Right. So he said nothing, and he was correct.
He was right. It is nothing.
What did the baby corn say to the mama corn? Where's popcorn?
That's a perfect joke for this tournament.
And Father's Day.
And Father's Day. Double whammy.
Rita and Weep jamming for Louisville roller derby, and Sketchy Morels for Cape. I am not confident on Cape again all of a sudden. Cape Girardeau. Ooh, a dad joke in the... What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. That's a great one. Love it. Thanks for that, Leah. And from your 5-year-old. Love it. You know, 5-year-olds have the best jokes. Always. All right, Rita and Weep is lead jammer. Sketchy Morels also working her way through a tough blockers out there.
Looks like we're going to have a low block possibly. We've got the pivot for Cape Girardeau headed to the penalty box.
I think that might be Scarlet. Sketchy Morels is out. And that was not a scoring pass, so Sketchy Morels is out on her initial.
And we've got a Cape Girardeau, another blocker headed to the box. This time, I believe it's Smaxolotl with a forearm headed to the penalty box.
Rita heard her bench yelling to call it, and Rita had called it and then turned to her bench and demonstrated to them very emphatically, here I am, I'm calling it.
Sometimes it's hard when everyone's stuck in the pack. It's hard for the jam refs to see, so sometimes yelling, I'm going to call, gets their attention.
We are under 5 minutes in the game here, and this is our 7th place game, so we will see some placements happening at the end of this game. Phoenix is your lead jammer. Cruella to Kill coming out right behind, about half a lap. Not too many blockers out here on the track. Phoenix has got 2 Cape Girardeau blockers to get through.
Louisville just had a blocker head to the box for, I believe, a high block.
Cruella de Vil sailing through. Phoenix still a little bit tangled up in the pack, getting pushed to the outside. That was the great Catsby with that good blocking there, forcing Phoenix to recycle. Cruella de Vil getting tangled up in the pack as well and needing to do a little recycling.
That was a nice defensive hit from 818 on Louisville. Nice shoulder knocking Cruella to Kill out on the outside.
That is Lacey, who we've seen jam a couple times in this game.
Oh, I think we have. Nope, that's.
Oh, you got me excited.
I was almost. I
We've
thought
only got
it was.
3 minutes left. There's
I know.
not. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I thought we had a Harlot versus Harlot.
It's
but
a Harlot
I was
versus
wrong.
Shantastic. It's a hat. We got hat. Oh, which means it's not gonna happen. Dang it. All right, well then these two teams are going to have to play each other again later so that we can actually see it happen. All right, both jammers getting a little bit stuck up. Both jammers seeing some space. Who's going to get that space? Looks like it is Shantastic Vixen coming out to grab that lead status for Cape Girardeau, and that jam is called very quickly. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game.
Those two jammers have a little bit of a jam romance going on over there. They're very friendly, smiling, high fives. Love it.
A jam-mance.
A jam-mance, yes. So we coined a term, the Shenana Jam. When Circle City went up to UFTA a couple years ago, we had a jam where it was just the jammers were going in and out of the box for the entire jam. And we're like, what is going on?
Shenana Jam. Oh,
and
I love that.
I believe Lego Blocks was the one that coined it, but they were like, it's a Shenana Jam.
Shenana Jam. So. Dave and Buster putting on the star for Louisville, coming out with that lead jammer status. Cruella de Kill is also out.
Nice footwork holding off KCDC.
Oh, great offense there from, KCDC. You already said it. And that jam is called, which means we're going to get at least one more jam here with 1 minute and 39 seconds left on the clock. Louisville at 225, Cape Girardeau at 94. As we're getting down to the end of the jam, I'm seeing some skaters come out to hang out in the crowd, which can sometimes happen at the end of games when people start collecting those seventh penalties. And sometimes some would say worth it. Some would say, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. But we don't tend to look too much at the past here in Derby Date Night.
Hakuna
We just
Matata.
enjoy what's in front of us.
Hakuna Matata.
Love it. Phoenix. Working to get that lead jammer status, just has to get past one. Cape Girardeau blocker is able to do so to get lead jammer. Cruella de Kill is standing in the penalty box for Cape Girardeau.
I'm not sure if you knew this, but yesterday was 88 from Louisville's birthday, Nancy.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
We sang happy birthday last night during that last game.
Great blocking there by Lacey to slow down Cruella de Kill. Phoenix continuing to try and push, just has one more Cape Girardeau blocker to get past, is able to do so to get those 4 points. We have 16 seconds left in the period, so this could be the last jam of this game. Kimbo, I've really enjoyed announcing with you. I hope that you have had fun as well being a guest on Derby Date Night.
Loved being here.
Well, you are welcome at any time.
Perfect.
And Phoenix calls the jam after the time clock has run out. So the unofficial score, Louisville 237, Cape Girardeau 97. Thanks again to both these wonderful teams. Cape Girardeau coming all the way from Missouri, Louisville from Kentucky. We have loved having you here, and we hope you all stick around because we've got 2 more games of Derby to happen. We are getting my home team, your home team are going to play each other next with Circle City and Corn-Fed.
Dukes up.
We've been friends for this, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. I think Corn-Fed and Circle City have a pretty good
do.
relationship between the two leagues. So.
And then after that, we've got our championship game, and I cannot wait to see who comes out victorious between South Bend and Rock. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with Circle City and Corn-Fed.